JeopardyLabs.com might be one of my favorite educational resources there is on the internet. As someone who is extremely competitive, this is a great way not only to get kids excited about learning, but get them competitive, which we all know riles up most of the students and gets them more engaged in the class. So again, I like to use this in my language arts classroom for my students as more of reviews, kind of a formative assessment, and see what topics my students really understand, and maybe what topics we need to go back and review a little bit. So this website incorporates a lot of the ISTE standards, but a couple of the ones I chose was 5A, which is participate in local and global learning communities, which again, this has a ton of different templates from people all over the world who have already created Jeopardy games. And then also 1A, which is promote, support, and model creative and innovative thinking and inventiveness. Because again, not only can I make a Jeopardy game for my students to review a topic, they could also make their own. So how this works is you can do this one of two ways. If you have ideas in your head already about what you want to assess your students on, what you want them to review, you can build a Jeopardy Labs template. So you're going to have to come in, you're going to have to put a password. I already logged in with my email, so you just have to make a password. I'm going to make that real quick. And then you can start building. You can do whatever you want. Now, I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with Jeopardy games. The answer is on the board, and you have to respond with the question. This template gives you 5 separate categories, like you see up here, and then 5 separate questions from 100 to 500 points that you can type in. So again, if you want to be creative, you can make your own. So if you want to make your own, let's say, again, I'm working with narratives right now in my classroom. So let's say my first category is going to be plot. What I do, so I have my title, I have a category name. You can go in, the answer. So this is what will appear first, like it says, it tells you that. The part of the story that is the most exciting or the turning point of the story. So that would be what the students would see. And my question, or in this case for Jeopardy, which would be the answer, is what is climax? If I spell that right. So I just made my first one right there. And again, if you want, you could go back through and create all your own. Once you're done with it, you could save it and share it with it. Personally, because I don't have a ton of time all the time, you can also browse through any other Jeopardy games that other people have made. So you can search it. Again, I'm going to show it with narratives because that's what I'm working on right now. And if you scroll through, there are a ton of different templates. So I use this one usually, and you can change the number of teams. So again, I have my students sit in tables, so I like to have this be a collaborative effort. I usually have my students work together. I give them about 30 seconds after I show the question on the board. They have to talk about it, write down the answer on a whiteboard. When time's up, everybody shows it to me. And all the teams that get it right get points. So for this case, I'm just going to say there's 4 teams for this demonstration. And this comes up right here. So from the student's view, if you're doing this in class, this is what it would look like. Let's say student choose elements of a narrative for 100. We'd click on it. What occurs in the orientation of a narrative? Give them some time to think about it. Show the correct response. Who, when, and where, what described. Let's say team 1 gets that correct. You could add this program automatically keeps track of points, and we can move on to the next question. So this is a great website to use for reviewing topics. Also, if you want to flip it around, You can have your students make Jeopardy games about the topic you're going over. It's another great way to formatively assess a student on how much they know. So if we've been going over narratives for a month now, they should have enough knowledge to create 25 different questions about it that we then could maybe use as a whole class to review. So you can do this one of two different ways, and that's why I really like it. Again, it gets students creative. Every time you have competition in the class, at least for me personally, it gets the students more engaged, and I love playing this game in my class, and I know you would too.